Meeting to order.
Like, here's your Christmas and birthday present.
You can't do that.
Well, it's like this double value.
Roll call. Would you like to do roll call?
Yep. Sam Boston,
Here.
Gerald Tucker, Mike Strino here, Sarah Collantine,
Here.
Donna Knoxon,
Here.
Christine Murphy,
Here.
Ryan Fraser,
Here.
Thank you. Any public comments on agenda items? Yes, sir.
Good evening, my name is Joel Morey. I live at 309 East Maple Avenue in Borough Park. I've been a resident here in the village since 1988. I'm a retired railroad conductor, served on a couple of local commissions. And I'm also a board member of an organization called the Prepaid Rail Safety Council. It's a nationally recognized group of rail professionals, government officials, and concerned citizens who work to reduce victims, declining victims that are stuck in tracks. So a few years back, with the assistance of Gina Racanelli, in cooperation with Operation Lifesavers, was another organization that goes into schools and places like that to give rail safety messages to kids. We had recognized that there had been a shortage of personnel, and then with COVID, when schools were doing remote learning, that we had lost that option of getting our messages out to kids. So because of that, we had crafted a message that we hope to have included in Park District handbooks and school handbooks throughout the state. As a trial, I worked with Gina Racanelli and staff. They graciously took our message and added it to the Parks and Recs handbook and put it also the link on the website. I noticed that in the last book that came out, it was either accidentally or intentionally omitted. And so with the new book coming out, you guys are considering the winter-spring edition, we would hope that you might add it back in. One of the things that we look at the long-term effects. We have been working with District 45, with North School PTA, going to some of their events, and we hand these out to all
Thank you.
invitees. And the parents are very, very glad that someone is out there helping them get that message out to kids. They can get that message out in a more private setting. And, parents now seem to be more interested than ever to try to, have that time with their kids to talk about things that are necessary. So we do keep a supply of these by the front office. And like I said, I would hope that when you're considering putting the next booklet together, that it be reinstated back into the program guide. And have any questions on the
Can I get your email address?
Yeah, I'll get it to you.
Say something.
Okay.
Thanks, Joe. I'll have to talk to Gina. I don't know if it was a space constraint for this go-round for the winter brochure. We'll find out. What we'll also do is I'll have her send you the schedule of the brochures when we print, so you can send her this information. I don't know if, I'll have to find out, but once you have that schedule, then you can send us the Operation Lifesaver information.
Sure.
Each time we're ready to put the brochure together.
Like I said, it was an ongoing thing, and even though it was available electronically, so you could just go to your program guide, said it was a block Operation Lifesaver safety message. Because of the close proximity of all, a lot of your facilities to the tracks,
Yep.
you want to keep kids educated about, what to do and what not to do. So, again, thanks for your support. Village of Village Park is recognized by our group over and over about the inroads that we take in this town to protect our residents, our students, visitors. For example, the fencing is, throughout the village and the signage. So we just want to keep that on the forefront, one of the things I just want to mention real quick, when we did the North School PTA event last spring, and we were party to that, I had a young mom come up and thanked us professionally about this. And one of the reasons it meant so much to her was that out here at Addison Road, back like 20 so years ago, there was a student that got hit by a train accidentally. It was a snowy day, and she was waiting to get across, and when the rear of one train went by, she started across, and the train going in the opposite direction came and hit her. That student had a twin sister who a year later, went to the same location and committed suicide. Both those students were friends of hers. Went to school with them. So it's just the effects of all these things, how it just grows exponentially. I will get the email for you right here. Again, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any amendments to last month's agenda? Or, I'm sorry, to this agenda? Okay, no? I'm sorry. Approval of last month's meeting minutes.
Thank you.
Need a motion?
I need a motion
A motion to approve the minutes.
and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No opposed. Meeting minutes approved.
Okay, thank you.
And we'll move to the department staff updates. Gina could not be with us. We have a pitch hitter.
Yes.
We do have a pitch hitter. Gina's has a medical procedure today, so filling in for Gina is our program supervisor, Sue Earl. Sue,
Thank you.
take
And
it
thanks, Sue, for
Yeah,
joining us tonight.
sure, yeah. So program updates since the last meeting, I guess. We had fall camp. So our youth fall camp was held the 3 days before Thanksgiving. And there were, it was the 3 days, we had five campers on Monday, Tuesday, and then 8 on Wednesday. On Wednesday, they went to the trampoline park. We also had mini adventure camp, and that was only on Tuesday and Wednesday of that week. And coming up, we will have winter camp for youth, Tuesday through Friday, the week of Christmas, and then the first week in January. It'll be Tuesday through Friday. The planned activities are crafts, games, and field trip to Oak Brook Indoor Pool and Stardust Bowl in Addison. And then also mini adventure camp will be held during winter break, Tuesday through Thursday of both of those weeks as well. Discover Dance, we had a mid-season showcase on just this past Saturday here at the Iowa Community Center. And dancers from each class performed a short dance to showcase what they have been working on so far. There were about 100 people in attendance, so it was really well attended. Senior programs during November, there were 19 programs with 270 participants. Rainbow Cone of Lombard donated 60 tasting cups for the birthday bunch and lunch in October, November, and December, which is a donation of 210 each month. Athletics, we're up to 178 participants in our youth basketball league. We keep adding more kids. We added another second and third grade team. So we're up a lot. Last year we had 138, so we're doing pretty good at 178. We also have 16 volleyball teams registered for the spring. We just added a new team. Last year we had 13 teams, so we're up 3 more teams than we had last year. Villa Park Jazzercise Fitness is celebrating 1 year at the Iowa Community Center in January, and the collaboration is going really well. They're just right across the hall over there in room 11. And staff is looking ahead for summer aquatic needs. Event updates. Holiday train ride was held on Saturday, December 2nd, and we sold out at 125 participants. Pictures with Santa Paws was held at the Depot on Wednesday, December 6th, and we maxed out at 19. Visit with Santa is coming up on Saturday, and we have 19 people registered as well for that one. That's the most that we'll take, is 19. I don't think we can handle any more than that. And then the phone calls from Santa happened today, actually, and we had 10 people registered for that. So that is it.
Thank you.
Question.
Any questions?
Basketball camp, is that different than what Willowbrook has going on? Does Willowbrook have like Willowbrook Warriors where they kind of?
So we have, it's Conquer the Court basketball. And right now, Willowbrook lets us use their gym on Saturdays. So starting in November, we were able to start using the gym there on Saturdays. So we have practices at the District 45 schools during the week, and then on Saturdays, we're at Willowbrook.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I know the Junior Warriors, that's another
It
organization.
kind of like grooms them to try out for Willowbrook. That's a separate program than
It is.
than this.
So it's kind of nice that we're working together with them a little bit, because they have tryouts, for the basketball, and then a lot of kids that don't make it, they have them come over to our recreation league, so it works out great. We have a lot more kids this year than we had
Summer
last year.
aquatic needs, are we going to do the job fairs again?
I hope so. I'm planning on it.
Sue was there. You were?
Yeah.
Sue did the job fair.
Yeah, I attended a job fair at York High School and Willowbrook, and they were great. The Willowbrook one was a lot better than the York one. I mean, I don't think I got any kids from York, but I did get a lot from Willowbrook.
What about Glenbard? Would you get any kids from Glenbard?
I guess I could reach out to them. I haven't thought about that before, because Lombard Pool, it's closer to that, but I could.
You're competing with the other park districts, that's all. So, Lombard with, what's that, Paradise Bay? What's
Yeah,
that?
Paradise Bay.
Yeah, that's true.
But Elmhurst has 2 pools.
Yeah, Elmhurst
They
has
do.
two, too. But they're smaller. I mean, if kids want hours, that might be a shot.
I mean, it was kind of interesting this last summer, because it really was a competition of salaries. Who was gonna pay the most, But it's also kids wanting to ride their bike to the pool. They don't
Don't have a car.
they don't have a car, so they don't wanna go from, Villa Park to Elmhurst or over to Lombard, so it's demographics too, right?
Any other questions? Thank you. Excellent job filling in.
Thank you.
Brian?
All right, thanks. Some current completed projects, facility assessments. Following up on that, we worked with Kluber to complete the more in-depth engineering evaluation of the facilities, which essentially completes the facility evaluations that we're doing. We're hopeful to have the facility assessment report in the coming weeks. I would assume most likely after the holidays and stuff, after the new year. The assessment covers Village Hall, Police, Public Works, old fire station building on Home Avenue, the Parks and Public Works garages, the Water Department garage, the Fleet facility, the Chamber, the museum, and both fire stations. Moving forward, the assessment isn't, those facilities aren't the end of the assessment. We can build on it, we can add to it, we can remove it, facilities fall off or become, it'll be an ongoing and working document that we'll have for years to budget and plan for different facility things. So we're looking forward to it. I'm especially, being the buildings guy, going to use it the most probably out of anyone, so. Joyful Traditions, we completed the setup and decorating for Joyful. We continue to spec the lights and decor on a weekly basis. The Chamber held the event on December 2nd at the gazebo on the Prairie Path. Park staff were on hand to make sure the event went smooth. Weather was pretty good, and the event was pretty well attended. New staff person, so Parks welcomed our newest full-time staff person, Ilya Seymour. Ilya is our corporate custodial. She oversees the cleaning of Village Hall, Police, Public Works Office Building, the Metro facility, and our Parks Office facility. This is now her second week with us. She's doing a really good job. So well that our police department asked if they could just have her 40 hours a week and take her from us. So we said no, and the manager, let everybody know that they have to share. So she's doing a good job, but we're glad to have her. We also saw some new equipment, which is awesome. It's been a while since COVID and everything that we've gotten things, but we got a new Ford F-350 dump truck with a plow and a salt spreader, just in time for winter, and a new Kubota tractor with a cab, which will take all of our implements and some of the new ones and things that we got. Both are much needed. They'll get great year-round use. They both were ordered roughly a year and a half ago, so they are hopefully going to be worth the wait. And then with winter approaching, we're working to prepare the parks and facilities for winter, cleaning and organizing, preparing our snow equipment, cleaning our summer equipment, putting it away, making sure everything has salt and ice melt, shovels and things like that. A lot of cleaning, the end of year clean out, prep for next. So, and then some upcoming projects. As I mentioned at the last meeting, we each year we look at facility needs to make improvements over the winter months that we oftentimes can't make during the summer because we're busier outside. A few upcoming projects we're looking at is over at Village Hall. They have a break room in the basement that is not very inviting, so we're hopeful that we can change that and make it a little bit nicer, or someplace where staff will want to go to. A couple of painting projects at our Public Works building. They have a few restrooms and other odd spaces. We did a lot of the building last year, so we're going to try to continue in some of the other spaces. And at both fire stations, they got a good list for us, so we'll be there for a while over the winter. We're trying to make some improvements to some of our own facilities that we work at for a change. We do a lot for everyone else, but I hear it from the staff, my guys and stuff. But our office break area and our restroom could use some improvements, so we're trying to make that improvement. And then we're looking to do some LED lighting upgrades kind of ourselves. Jim, our facilities guy, has kind of already started that. So we're trying to go through the buildings and see what we can do to replace some of the bulbs with LEDs and replace some fixtures with LEDs to make some improvements there. So that's all I have.
Any questions? Oh, sorry.
I have a question. Brian, what's our target timeline for the basement break room in the Village Hall?
Good question. Yeah, we set it as a project and we're planning for it. Part of it hinges on making sure that the money that we need is approved in the coming budget, which we should know in the next few weeks. But as of now, I believe it still is there. And then I'll have to talk with the staff in the building to find the best time for the facility.
So we may have a more definitive timeline at our January meeting.
Correct. Yes.
Perfect. My heartstrings are tied to that facility.
Yes, it could definitely use it. It needs a few things. So
Well, and there's a lot that we can do that I think will be very low budget as far as that's concerned. There's not a lot down there. Again, there's a lot of people that aren't necessarily using that facility, and I think with very limited resources and access to some things that we can get at minimal expense. It would be wonderful to have access to our facilities, particularly for the painting and those types of things. But as far as the amenities in that room, I think we can find a place to secure those and make it a more amenable space. Many of, I think, those resources are using the upstairs, I'm not sure what we're calling that room, outside the board room. And they're taking breaks and such up there and not using the room downstairs. And I think it would be a wonderful amenity to upgrade. So I appreciate it, and anything I can do to support that, I'm available.
Sure, thanks.
Thank you.
Excuse me, and Brian and the staff are experts at
Spruce'em?
sprucing things up with a minimal budget.
Well, I saw them rebuild the benches. I thought we got new benches at Lufkin and the trash barrels. I'm like, oh, we got, and no, they were just repurposed
Yeah.
and repainted and refinished.
And I think last year you did
I like when we
PD.
can reuse stuff and not be wasteful.
Yep.
You said with the budget, with that report, how much is gonna be, to do, like you said, like the Commerce building and stuff like that? How many buildings do we think we can get done in a year? Is it dependent on the cost, or, I mean, how much are we
It's-
gonna get in the
yeah,
budget for
once
it?
we get this back, they'll put budget numbers to all the things that they have included, so.
And then decide if two of the projects are $50,000. If they budget $100,000 and two of the projects are 50,
It'll-
then you do two of them. If it's one project, then it's
They're going to
100,000.
identify the needs of each building and, probably prioritize, like if there's a roof that needs to be replaced
Yeah,
real quick, then that's probably going to be a priority one. So it's not like they're going to do all the buildings in a year or two. It's just going to prioritize what we
who
need.
needs what? and
Right,
then
and what needs to be
Yeah,
done.
some-
It'll
Where
have to-
something fits in the budget.
It's kind of like, with the pool assessments, it was a little different, but they identified all the needs of, at the time, Lovekin, all the needs of Jefferson pools, and they did a priority of each deficiency, what needs to be taken care of right away and what can be put off. And they also assigned a dollar
And how
value, so it's
often-
similar.
How often do we do the assessment?
Well,
Yes,
Brian
was
actually, Brian was kind of doing it on his own.
On a yearly basis?
Yeah, but now, so we were able to get a heftier amount of money to bring in a firm that has the
So
time
is this like
and
one
the
of the first
expertise
times that we used a firm?
for the pool, for the
that-
assessment.
that
For these
assessment?
facilities, yeah. Yeah, and this will be, once we get it, it'll be, we'll have to update it as we complete the things on their lists. It'll be it's an Excel
work in
document that'll
progress,
work
or-
year to year. So it'll tell us next, what we're budgeting year to year, and it,
Kind of check off, and then
Yeah.
eventually you'll be done.
It's like,
Yeah.
we've identified, like, the fleet department needed a new roof years ago. And that was just Brian's assessments and bringing in just a roofer to do the assessment. And I think we did that
We just
just
did.
recently,
It was just done.
prior to the building assessments. But that's how we were operating, and now we'll have a nice document for the entire village, or
Yeah.
the buildings that Brian mentioned.
so, yeah, that roof got done in 2023, so then it goes back on the list to come up again for us to look at in 2033 as a roof evaluation, and do we move forward, or,
So it's gonna be a document that you can go back and refer to and say, okay, we did that in 2023, we're good for that.
Mhm.
Yeah, it
And
requires
it'll
some
just-
maintenance, but it
it'll
should
be
work with us.
perpetually.
as
And it'll
long
help
as
us
we have-
budget,
Yeah.
budget process, too.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
How often does the firm come in and do the assessments, and will it be a yearly thing that you guys do with them, or?
Well, they'll come in and do this with us and give us this. We can ask them to come back and help us update it if we like, but, I mean, we can update it internally as it
Yeah.
goes, and it'll just keep with that, so.
So this is the
guys
first
have-
time they've done this,
Okay.
so it's like one all-encompassing on the buildings we picked.
Right.
How many other, 10? 12?
It's like, 12 or
12,
13.
so they'll put together that document, and then we'll have it.
Yeah.
And then we'll try to check off all the needs,
Did they
within-
recommend coming in like, every 5 years to do a big assessment, or is it like just whenever you can get it into the budget again to have them
It's a
come
good
in.
question. We can ask them
Yeah.
if they recommend, coming back to
Yeah.
maintain or review what's been done or what things are at.
Great question.
Is there any funding or grants for that kind of stuff? As far as buildings?
Not sure. I'm sure we'll see if we can find some, but buildings.
Well, I
Well,
just
years
wonder-
ago, we got the funding for the Village Hall windows. And because it's a historical building, the state, we got funding through the state, and the state sent their historical guy, and like once, and it was like pulling teeth trying to get information to what kind of windows we could use. We finally didn't take the grant because Doris at the time, who was our administrative assistant, she didn't get anywhere, I didn't get anywhere. The former manager didn't get anywhere with them coming out, so, yeah, so there's probably might be some grants available. We'll just have to cross that bridge when we get to it.
Any other questions?
Oh, yeah. So you brought up the joyful traditions, which is feedback. I was there and it was really nice. Do you guys just set up for them, or like do you get all the supplies for them? Because I went earlier and it wasn't dark, but I had friends that went later and they were like, it was really dark and like we almost lost our kids. And I was like, oh, like, okay. So like, is there like way to get like overhead lighting so that it's like a little bit more lit so it gets dark so early?
Yeah, we can talk
Yeah.
with them about that.
Okay.
Usually the setup and things like that is up to them. If they
Okay.
ask us for additional lighting, we can work with them, and help provide what the village may have, but usually they do all the setups and stuff.
So are you talking, Ryan, on when you're decorating the trees?
No,
Or-
not the decoration, but just like walking around and
Oh, okay,
stuff. You know,
okay,
we're like,
yeah.
I don't know what type, like, are they floodlights? I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Like, just to like make it a little bit more not so dark, because it was beautiful out there. But like I said, I went earlier, so I didn't have that experience, but like I know that it was getting pretty busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing in the chamber is they're the organization that organizes everything. Brian's guys are the, support, and, so they put up all the trees for everybody, and they'll decorate around the chamber building, or our building, but, and the gazebo and all that. But putting floodlights up at certain areas, some people, you have to be careful because
Absolutely.
people might complain because it's taken away from the lights and all that, so.
Okay.
But we could, there certain areas.
I knew it was a chamber event, so I didn't
Okay.
even think, but then you brought it up, and I was like, oh, okay, like
Yeah.
maybe you guys have
We can make
something
that
to do with it.
suggestion.
Yeah.
We could talk with them.
We
We
do
usually
have
have meetings, follow-ups after the events are
Yeah.
over about, what things to change or do or how everything
Yeah.
went. So we can talk with them about lighting.
Any other questions? Thanks, Brian. You're very popular today.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Moving on to business.
Should see him at Village Hall.
Yeah.
Business, Lovekin Park. Well, if you've driven by Lovekin,
Yeah.
they're full speed ahead, which is really fun to see. The playground is, I don't know if it's completely up, but
pretty
Brian,
close,
Brian
yeah.
are gonna, Brian
They're
and I are
pouring cement today too for something. I'm
More-
assuming that's for the shelter in the
It's,
front.
it's the shelter, shelter bathrooms. Yep, so, knock on wood, the weather's been cooperative for them to get a lot of the work done. Once they get the foundation poured and we get the building up, then they can work, the rest of the winter inside, and then finish up in the spring, so, it's great. Knock
We're
on
driving
wood.
home from somewhere and I told my husband, I'm like, pull in there. He's like, you can't pull in there. You're not a construction worker. I'm like, but I just want to see what's going on. He's like, no, you got to stay out of there. And I'm like, okay.
We don't have any hard hat required signs, do we?
I got one of those.
I know, see, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys still have your hard hats? Which reminds me, if you, and I'm jumping ahead, but if we want to go through, Lions, Maybe we can do it on a nice Friday afternoon or something and walk through there. Yeah, so, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. But anyway, so full speed ahead with innovation landscapers that are doing all the work, so, yeah, we're, but anyway, that's all, really all I have to report on Lufkin. It's just, look, if the weather cooperates, you know, we're looking good as far as our timeline. I don't want to say it a
don't wanna
month
jinx
in spring or early summer, but, you know, to open up the park and have, you know, ribbon cutting and all that kind of good stuff. So we'll keep you posted.
So what comes after, they got the playground in and they got the cement poured, what's?
They got the ninja course, they might pour the cement, I don't know if they're gonna pour the cement for the spray pad, splash pad. I
Their
mean, that's-
hope, I think, was to have the playground and all the footings and foundations done before Christmas, so that whenever they have all the structures that go up, that they can do those over the winter whenever time allows, or weather allows, I guess, so that they can continue
So the
progress.
ninja park was started already? I thought I only saw the playground.
No, the ninja, I don't think it's been
So
started
that
yet.
might be the next
Yeah,
step.
either that or the splash pad. How about the splash pad? There's all kind of plumbing,
Splash
so.
pad will be in the spring, I
Yeah,
think,
there's
with
all-
all the underground
all the plumbing.
and stuff.
What size is the splash pad? Does anyone know? Is it like 16 by 16 or?
I don't know, we, you know, they delivered all the equipment over the months, so we don't really open up anything until it's ready to go over there. So we'll try to find out for you, see how big it is. I'm sure we have that somewhere. Any other questions on Lufkin? Okay. Lions Park. So we continue to meet weekly on Thursdays with WB Olson, the construction management team, and the architects. And it's kind of interesting. I'm not a construction guy, but it's interesting to go through their updates and what's going on. Last month, I don't know if you've gone to the village. You know, we get at the end of each month we'll get a monthly manager's report. If you haven't been online yet, it kind of shows you what has taken place. So they have like pictures, and I can share this with you. I didn't bring enough for everybody to save some paper, but we can look through it. So this is online. So we, at the end of each month, we'll hopefully by next week, with the holidays, I don't know, but we'll have another one of these monthly reports posted. They're starting to put a wall up on the west side. The structural steel is supposed to come in within 2 weeks, week and a half, and then once that's in, they'll start putting up the steel. So that's pretty cool. Again, maybe I'll send something out. We'll have to look at the weather, but are Fridays good for folks? Can you make, if you wanted to kind of do a so-so? Well, maybe during the holidays, I don't know. But maybe we can get you through when, like, on their lunch break or something. We can go through and kind of check it out. Brian and I haven't been there since Brian and I walked a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I haven't been in there, so got to wear your hard hat. But if you want to let me know of the day, if it's Saturday is better, you can take a ride out and come on a Saturday. But as long as it doesn't rain, they're going to be out there working. So rain is no good.
How long is it going to take?
I'm sorry?
How long is it going to take?
Hopefully, we'll cut the ribbon in October of next year.
Cool.
Structural steel I talked about. One of the ideas out of this meeting, I guess with WB, one of the park districts where they built a building for, thought this was a great idea. The last beam that goes up, they paint it white, and if we wanted, we could invite the public to sign the beam.
That's cool.
And put it up. You know, that would be the last thing. So it's probably going to, I don't have specific information, but I love the idea, and we'd probably do it on a Saturday morning, and it would be the last beam, like I said, so it would be maybe the end of January, early February. So we'll get information out after the holidays. We'll have to pick a Saturday.
Nice.
and like, whatever time, 8 to 10, 10 to noon, whatever, they'll paint it white for us, and we'll have a bunch of magic markers, and we'll invite the community to sign the beam, and then they'll put it up wherever. And wherever they put it up, if it's hidden, what we'll do is probably take a picture of where it's at, and then, hang the picture with the beam, and maybe a little,
Showcase it.
yeah, and here's where the beam's located, So, more information, I don't have, specifics, but that's what we're thinking about doing. I think it would be a nice community type thing, just come out and have families sign the beam, as well as commissioners and trustees and staff, whoever wants to. So,
Excellent.
I think that's all I have. The sponsorships, we had some discussion on sponsorships with the board. They're just starting, contacts are just starting to roll in on sponsor inquiries, costs and all that. So as soon as we get more information on that, that's kind of a fluctuating thing on who's interested, and I guess once we get them all contracts, board will have to approve stuff and the amounts, and so it's kind of in its infancy right now as far as those sponsorships and naming rights and all that kind of stuff. Don't have much to report on that. Again, but if you want, go on the Village's website, and let me tell you where it's at. It's on the tabs, it's a Village Updates, and it's a Park and Recreation tab. And then they'll have this one, and it'll also have Lovekin. The construction company takes the pictures for Lions. Brian and I will take the pictures for Lovekin. We haven't done anything yet on Lovekin, but we'll kind of do the similar thing for Lovekin and do an update on Lovekin Park and where we're at, so people can just go on the website and check it out. So they don't go inside the gates.
Without the approved
Without the approved headgear. Right. That's it.
Question, there's probably a difference between sponsorship and naming rights. Is there a level of, you have to have X amount of dollars for sponsorship versus you have to have more dollars for naming rights?
Yeah, the naming right would be the building itself. So that would be the premium space. So that would be a lot more expensive than maybe XYZ Hospital sponsoring the walking track.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Public comments for non-agenda items. You kind of jumped that one already, I think. That's no. Okay. No more? All right. Commissioner comments? Mike, do you have any comments today?
Nah, just hope everyone enjoys their holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Donna?
Just have a safe holiday.
I like that. Sarah?
Happy holidays, Happy New Year.
Ryan?
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Christine?
Yes, I'd like to propose consideration for a January agenda item to formalize a goals and objectives document. There's been a lot of discussion at the board meetings about formalizing and expanding the roles of the commissioners on each of our commissions. And I think it would be beneficial for us to formalize some type of a 2024 goals and objectives for our commission, and maybe add that to the January agenda. And perhaps between now and then, I'll leave it up to Director Gola to put some directive behind that as far as everybody providing input on what they would foresee. I'm sure that the staff has more insight into what you foresee 2024 holding for us, and maybe what we can formalize as a commission to what you would be expecting the commission to be putting their attention toward, and just get that documented so that the board will feel confident that we have a productive role for our commission. And I think January would be a good time to do that. If everyone's amenable to it, we can kind of put a stake in the ground and say this is what we foresee happening during the 2024 year. And I think that that will make the board happy with respect to the direction that they're taking with the commissions for 2024.
Sure, I appreciate that. Just a word that, because we have, in the past, what we've done, before we would have the master plan, we would ask the commission, we want to do a couple of parks, and we'd give them a few parks that we would want to take care of, and then we would discuss, okay, this park needs a new whatever playground and walking path, whatever, and then we would make a discussion on that and go with what we always got. The commission would ask us, our recommendations or needs, and we'd have a nice discussion. So we can certainly do that. The only caveat is we have two big, huge projects going on. So as far as the other parks, there might have some of if we focus on some renovations it'll have to be on a smaller, way smaller scale. And we probably won't do any park playground replacements for a while. However, there might be some, hey, can we add a walking path, or can we do this, or, some minor type of projects we can certainly consider and look at doing, so.
Well, and I would anticipate a lot of it would have to do with our big major projects. But just to put something in documentation so that they would be able to take a look at, and they're very into transparency for the residents to be able to see what the commissions are focusing on. So I'm not necessarily suggesting it should be anything grandiose above and beyond, but if they at least have some type of a document that they can look at to say that these are the major projects that we're looking, these are our timelines, this is what the commission is focused on, these are maybe some of the talking points that we would anticipate discussions at commission meetings on, and I would very much anticipate it will be focused on our major projects as opposed to our existing parks. But we do have a few things with the parks, because I know I'm kind of hoping for more picnic tables over by the new coffee shop. So there's going to be a few things. But I think if we all get together and brainstorm and perhaps provide some input to the staff on our thought process, and then I would be looking more toward the staff to direct the commission on particularly our big projects, because those are things you would know more about what our timelines are, even with respect to the break room at the village hall. If we can kind of break down and document, these are the things on your radar, these are the things that perhaps we're looking for staff input on, and we can at least put together some type of I want to say more formalized document, but
We would certainly welcome, we always welcome the input, and if within the next month or even 2 months, if stuff starts percolating in your minds about different parks or different ideas,
well, and I think staff would be a good straw bone for telling us, this is what you guys have on your radar, and then maybe we can fill in some in-between points on our thoughts on each of those areas. At least it would be a document that the board members can reference to suggest that we have goals and objectives for 2024.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chairman comments, so again, kind of just happy holidays to everyone. And I do like the idea of at least having the an updated, formalized roles and objectives. So even if we have, it won't be complete, but I like the idea of at least having the, I don't know, outline maybe is the right word, just to make sure we're tracking over the year. Thank you. Sue, do you have any comments?
Yeah, I wanted to say one thing that I forgot to say earlier was that we have new registration software that just got launched last week, and it's going great. So our winter spring program guide has been published, and with the new software, it's easier to see the catalog of classes on it. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go check it out. We're excited about it.
Registration is a lot easier. to-
Yeah, it's so much easier than the old registration that we had, which was a nightmare, I think. So we really love this much, it's a lot easier to use, user-friendly.
And I have one question on that. On the electronic format, do we have the flexibility post-production to add Joe Amori's Operation Lifesaver to it?
Yeah, we do.
Once it's published?
We
or
can, yes. No, we can add it to the online.
Super.
Sure, yeah.
That
Yeah,
would be
the
wonderful.
printed, of course, it's, you can't.
Yeah,
but,
it's already.
Right,
yeah.
right.
But yeah, no,
Yeah,
we could
it's already-
definitely add
already
it.
printed.
That's why I wanted his email address, because I wanted him to email me this
The
document.
electronic form.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, and Merry Christmas to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brian?
No, Merry Christmas.
Oh, awesome. Great.
Same. Thank you all for a good year, and appreciate everybody's time, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas.
Put our roller skates on for 2024.
Yeah.
Dan, I forgot to mention, I have necklaces. Anybody that wants a light up necklace, I have one for all of the commission members.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
There you go. Well, you guys too. I have a total of
Yeah, I mean,
10.
I've,
I have a total of 10.
I don't have
You're
a necklace,
commission
you
member.
know.
He loves necklaces.
Can I get a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All against? And we are adjourned.
All
Thank
right.
you
I
very
don't
much.
want to know, Greg, where you're wearing your light up necklace, okay?